What's up my bodyweight warriors, and welcome back to another video, another kind of day of eating / training vlog. We're going to be doing a lot of training today, but I'm also going to be sharing with you my current favorite post-workout of choice. It is a weight gaining shake full of a bunch of goodness. Tastes great, super easy. What else do you need really? But before we get into that, I need to do training session number 1 of the day, which is a handstand session. We're going to hit outside because it's actually kind of sunny here in the UK for once. That's it for handstand session 1. Oh, very frustrating as always. I feel like every time I take a few steps forward, I take a step or 2 backwards. So I'm trying to think of things out in my head. The most frustrating thing I've ever had to do, learn, train, but for some reason I keep coming back. Anyway, let's get on to the shake. Right, so as I mentioned, today's recipe is going to be a post-workout shake. I've got something kind of similar on the blog already. However, this thing is kind of switched up a little bit. There's some more basic ingredients that kind of just makes more sense and a couple of nuanced factors. So let's jump straight into it. Right, so these ingredients here is everything you're going to need. There is a lot of modifications that you can do to this recipe. Link to the actual recipe is in the description down below. You kind of know how to make a shake. It's pretty straightforward. And that is the shake. I don't know what you were expecting really, or what I was thinking, like it's a shake at the end of the day. Who can't make these? The ingredients is what important. The main difference between this and like a off-the-shelf mass gainer shake is the ingredient list. Just look at the ingredient list next time you pick up make weight gainer shake. Full of random stuff that you just don't need, where you can make something very, very simple with stuff that pretty much everyone has lying about in the house, or stuff that doesn't cost that much money to make. So although this shake seems simple, there is a little bit more thinking behind it than just throw some ingredients in a shake and make a lot of calories, which this does have. There's a few reasons why I think this shake is pretty damn good. Reason number 1, it's good for prepping. I generally make this shake in the morning whenever I make my breakfast. In between I'm cooking that, I'll just put this together and I kind of get 2 birds with 1 stone. I don't have to do any more cooking until the evening, which is nice in itself. The reason for this is kind of twofold. 1, it's just sat there and ready to go whenever I want to go out and do some training. Number 2, oats can cause some digestive issues in some people, and that's due to the high phytate content for a few other reasons as well, but soaking the oats can help to reduce this level of phytates and anti-nutrients in the oats and make things a little bit more digestible, or can certainly take away some of those negatives that some people do experience. And the second part of this is I kind of use the frozen berries in there as essentially ice cubes. Put them in just before I go training. This way the frozen berries, the frozen fruit, it will defrost over the training period, but it will keep the drink nice and cold, which is really good after you finish a long training session. Number 2 is that it's simple and doesn't really contain anything fancy. It's a relatively low cost post-workout. It's just oats, banana, milk, some whey protein. There's nothing fancy about it, but that also means that you're likely gonna have that stuff lying around, or it's very, very cheap to buy and just make lots of them. Due to its simplistic nature, there's obviously endless varieties in which you can do this. You can make it with chocolate whey, you can make it with vanilla, fruity, whatever it is. There's really endless possibilities by just changing a few variables. One thing I personally like to do is add in Panax ginseng, which is an adaptogenic herb, can help you improve your adaptive abilities to stress, like training. I personally like this one, I've been using it for a long time, as well as something called ashwagandha, which I've talked about before. I'll just link to a couple of studies on those below if you want to read some more detail about them. So yeah, it's simple, but it's also as complicated as you want to make it. And point number 3 is that it's effective for the job that it's intended to do, which is to get a lot of calories into your mouth with not much food volume. If we're trying to gain mass, calories are kind of important. Post-workout is kind of important. It's actually been well documented, regardless of how bro it may seem. This protein shake right here, if you go by the recipe that I'm giving you, is 71 grams of protein, 130 grams of carbohydrates, and about 30 grams of fat, which is all in all near enough 1,200 calories. A nice dose of calories at a good time. And then this one can be modified as and when you need to. If you want to have less carbohydrates, just take out some of the oats. If you want to have more calories, add more nuts, add more fat. It's really very flexible. So I've drunk half basically after that session, first session of the day, an hour and ish bit of handstands. Now I'm going to go head off to the gym with the rest of the shake, and I'm going to do my second session, which is the strength session. I'm not going to go into massive amounts of detail. I'm going to do a video on what I'm doing for training at the moment because things have changed quite a bit. In the meantime, if you do want the recipe for this weight gainer shake, then the link will be in the description down below, so go check it out. And that is basically it for this week, guys. There's so much more I wanted to go into detail about when it comes to the training itself, but that's a whole nother video in itself. So we're going to leave that there. Some big changes and some things I think you might find interesting to come in the next vlog. But currently now in Gatwick, just about to fly out to Vienna to teach a workshop with my man Ulrich. There is a couple of tickets left and I will link them in the description. For the moment, that is basically it for the video. If you enjoyed this one, you know what to do, hit the thumbs up button and support the channel. If you're going to give this one a go and try out the weight gainer, mass gainer shake, then let me know in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear what you're going to do. While you're down there, you can also hit that subscribe button if you want to join the Bodyweight Warrior tribe. But that is basically it for this week, guys. I'll catch you in the next episode. Have a strong week and peace.